This podcast is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. Visit the Tech Podcast Network at www.techpodcast.com. If it's tech, it's here. Welcome to CalCast, your Create International podcast. This is the Gospel Gadget Podcast, episode 40. Welcome, listeners, to Gospel Gadget Podcast, formerly known as CalCast, your Create International podcast. We've changed the name to Gospel Gadgets because we want to show you what God is doing in terms of using technology to spread the gospel message all over the world and especially cross-culturally towards unreached peoples.
This podcast is proudly listed at podcastpickle.com.
Greetings once again, Gospel Gadget Podcast listeners. Well, we have part 2 of this exciting interview with our brother working in the Middle East. I'm sure you can't wait to hear the rest of the story. So here it is, part 2. And the great thing is these devices are small. You can just put them in your pocket, turn them on. They last about 5 hours on a charge. Put it in your backpack, whatever. And so if you're in a mall or some public place, you can just sit there for a while and relax and you're evangelizing the whole place. And you also mentioned there's short films as well that you've been using in the dialect of your area there?
Yeah, international. They shoot like 3 short films in the dialect of the people there I'm living. Although we have different nationalities around, we have also the short films, from different people group, different dialect. We have like 3 or 4 different films or short films, Bibles, files or audio Bible that's low there. People can go through and just like look what they want and download.
Well, that's great. I remember when we were talking to you earlier, you also mentioned something about the God Pods, right? The actual video players, the little portable things, and how you've been using some of those create films even in women's groups and things like that.
Yeah, we are using God's Pod in the house visits or tents. These are people that normally they're very limited with electricity and carrying computers. And also when we visit poor people, open a computer in front of them, it's like, wow, he's rich, he has a computer, But when we pull God's Pod, it's something simple, we can hang, and watch the whole film, watch short videos. There is a specific family there. One time we showed one of creative videos in the dialect they did in our area. And after that, they were so touched and they felt like, do you have more? And we didn't feel to share anything more, but there was like 2 worship songs that we loaded there and we ended up showing the videos of the worship. And they were saying, wow, they're so nice. And there it's a great source also, especially when we go to rural areas, areas that it's really poor. There is the best. So it's not heavy, it's small, low, we can load whatever we need and we see, oh, there is a need for this. Is there, we pull and we watch with them. And
that's very exciting. It's great to see how technology and media are, coupled together. Using media that's really made for the people, that people group, really has an impact and is a blessing to people. And it's great to see how you're taking advantage of that in your whole group.
So your team has just a couple of these units. What could you do if you had 50 or 100? What other things could listeners bless you with?
Well, what I could do, I could spread those streams to the most remote areas where we are. Areas that it's tough and hard for us to enter. With the Dove Stream also, I think we can use as a daily life too. For example, if I'm going to the mall, I'm going to spend at least an hour and a half, 2 hours. Why not together? I have a specific staff there. He loves to go to the mall and he always scared there. And I say, hey, that is too much. He said, no, I'm not doing anything. I'm just giving the option for people to access and get, and download what they want. Well, we can use in different ways. We can do so much.
Yeah.
And it's good. As you said, it's small. We can put in our pocket, we put in our backpack. No one knows, and
you had mentioned the Jesus film and some parables and things, but what other, if media teams wanted to come and bless your region, what other films, what would you like in the content of some of the films and media resources? What are some of the felt needs that you feel some media resources could address for your people?
One short video that could be done, and this is one of the biggest need. It's something that speaks about hope. Because the people that I'm living with, they are very hopeless. Not only short videos, or if we could get a Bible passage that speaks about hope, and we do a drama or a short video about that passage, or things that I can show to them, say, listen, your life it's been that, let me show that video, because with some people, I cannot say, listen, let me open my Bible here. People say, why? I don't want. But if you use like videos, short videos, and you show that you're sharing the Word of God, and you just keep after what the video that we just saw speaks about God, what's speaking about us, how can we apply, and even give to them and say, hey, can you think about someone to do that? I can give you the video, but can you reproduce that? Or build a set of Bible lessons in videos where people that they don't know how to read, neither how to be really sharing the gospel, we give them the video. I do the Bible study and say, okay, now I give you the video, but you have to reproduce with your friends.
Oh yeah, that'd be great, because then they're multiplying it on. I was just thinking about these videos have a life of their own. Once they download that short video, you know what's going to happen. The next thing, they're going to share it with a friend, and that's going to share it with a friend. It's going to go viral, and that's exactly what you want to happen. I think also you mentioned that you have counted how many people download and things like that. That's one thing about that device that I am, that is really interesting, is that it has a built-in feature where it knows how many people are accessing it and what films they're watching and downloading, and that makes it a really powerful tool, because if you were just using it and putting things out, you would not know whether or not people are using it. But now you can watch the numbers going up and see exactly what they're interested in, and so that makes it a really powerful tool too, because you can analyze how you're doing with your work. Well, that's really, really exciting, and thank you very much for sharing that testimony, and we'll be continuing to pray for you, and also pray that Create International or other media ministries will produce more films for you and the people that you're working with. Thank you very much for sharing the testimony.
Thank you, and bless you guys.
Invisible man, you look right through me so you won't feel the pain of knowing that the way you live determines where I stand. In my invisible world, you give me nickels but you won't shake my hand. And I can't believe in the God you claim to serve. I'm an invisible man. I'm an invisible girl. Man, you smile at me with $5 bills. Though you see my skin on Tuesdays, boys, you've never seen my eyes. In my invisible dreams, I ride the carriages of princes and queens. But in the morning when I wake, I want to put myself to sleep. We are the least of these. You look through us every day. We are the least of these. We beg for your change. We starve for your love. We aren't invisible, but we are invisible. I'm an invisible child. My mother says I'm just a careless mistake, but I didn't really accidentally come. In my invisible world, I have a heartbeat, but I don't have a voice. And you think if you can't hear me scream, then I feel no pain. We are the least of these. You look through us every day. We are the least of these. We beg for your change. We starve for your